Catch the Cleveland premiere of Car Idiots Forever. See the story behind those amazing rides we all love. It may be for better or worse, but obsessions do have their red line. See just how informative and intensely comical it can get as we interview some of the most passionate car enthusiasts on the planet, along with their enduring counterparts. Hi, I'm Bernie Goliath, your host for Car Idiots Forever. We're in Lakewood, Ohio, and today's guest, the true idiot himself, Dave Bueller. Dave, welcome to the show.
Hey, hi Bernie, how you doing?
Just fine, Dave. Could you tell us a little bit about why you would qualify as a car idiot?
Well, since we're talking about qualifications to be a car idiot, I would think that having over 10 cars gets you at least for considerations, okay, as we start to establish some of the criteria for car idiotism.
What was your obsession with the car Templar?
I'm a Lakewood kid, born and raised, and this is the only car that was ever made in Lakewood, Ohio, Templar Motors.
Well, when did you get started in the enjoyment of being a car idiot for the Templar motor car?
That goes back probably early 90s. I discovered the first Templar that was owned by the building's owner here, and that kind of got me going, and I always kidded him about, hey, if you ever want to sell that, let me know. Bernie, I qualify as a car idiot because I have way too many cars that anyone should own. I own over 14 cars, and we only drive one at a time. So that presents a condition that you have to have understanding for. Templars, to me, I picked them up later on in life, in my late 30s. Didn't know anything about it. I thought I was a car guy. I was born and raised in this town, graduated from the high school, still live in this town, and it was really a discovery. And so that's why it became a bit of an obsession. They told me none of them existed, and so I kind of wanted to prove them wrong, and I think I did.
Since Dave, we know that you are a committed car idiot, and we're sitting in here and tell about this beautiful car, this Templar. I know you have an idiocy story that you want to share with us. Tell us about it.
Okay, this is a 1922 Templar Sportette, which is really a 4-passenger sports car. And so I decided to take this to the annual Father's Day show at Stan Hewitt in Akron, and I thought it'd be a novel approach to drive down and take it down 77. So I did that, and I had a friend of mine follow me, and I said, well, let's see how fast this can go. And you gotta remember that this car has only rear brakes, so that's a planned event to stop. So I decided, okay, let's go. And I got it up to 50, and I still had more, so I kept going. I got it up to 55, okay, keep going, 60, 65, and it's driving like a park bench. I'm holding onto the steering wheel, it's flailing, okay? It's the whole front end of the car is moving around, and this is a bad event. So I decided to slow down, and I smoked the brakes, okay? Basically caught them on fire. And then I had to pull off, and we basically towed it the rest of the way to go to Stan Hewitt because I messed up the brakes going too fast. But boys and their toys, I got it going 67, yahoo, away we go. If that doesn't qualify for car idiot, I don't know what does.
First of, what makes people collect? Is it just one simple quest to accumulate objects of desire? Or is it a pursuit, an innate, instinctive mission, going back to the Neanderthal man's desire to hunt and to conquer its prey? Or could it be based on certain psychological aspects? Maybe the sense of security to fill the void of a senseless life. Or the excuse that it is an investment and the treasures you have amassed, allowing for a feeling and sense of power. Bernie Goliath, Chief Car Idiot, and we're at the Summit Racing Equipment piston-powered Autorama. And what a show it is. We're going to take you for a ride. So first of all, I'd like to introduce to you one of these wonderful ladies who are involved with the automotive hobby, and they have a passion, they have an obsession, and they want to be considered car idiots forever. So, we'd like to welcome
Maria Leone.
Maria, welcome to the show, and
Donna Wagner.
Donna Wagner, once again. I hear that you two are working together from Northwood University. And would you like to tell us a little bit about why you're at the show and representing Northwood University?
Sure. So we are an all-business school. We're located in Midland, Michigan, and we have a specific automotive aftermarket program, and Donna can tell you more about that, and I'm just the other side of it. So.
Well, you are certainly helping out. I know everybody's here. They're definitely gathering a lot of information. There's a lot of enthusiastic individuals. So, Donna, would you like to tell us a little bit more about Northwood University? I know you've been on one of our segments earlier, but tell us a little bit more and how you work together as a team.
Okay, well, Marie is a really important part of the recruiting process because she's one of the people that goes out and talks to the high school students and finds out what their interest level is with regards to business or what they want to do after high school. And so as soon as she finds out somebody's interested in cars, then that's when it gets interesting. So then she can talk about the Automotive Aftermarket Management Program. So, and that's the program that I teach. So I literally teach the auto parts business and anything from channels of distribution to lingo, marketing, sales, how to run a business and how to make a profit because, having a cool car is great, but you got to pay for it.
And we have a special guest here, and we want to show you what he can do. And I'll tell you one thing, he's not only a special guest, but he is an Automotive Hall of Famer, Hot Rod Automotive Hall of Famer, Dino Arnold. Welcome to Car Idiots, Dean.
Thank you, Bernie. I appreciate your time.
Well, we want to see what you have here. We're at the piston-powered Autorama here in Cleveland, Ohio, and you have something special, something that you built. I know you have a lot of cars in your history.
A lot of cars, and I've always been a Cobra fan. As tall as I am and my big feet, I could never get in a Cobra. So I wanted something special. So what we did was we designed a brand new chassis from scratch. We made it 98 inches longer. It's 98 inches in length, which is 8 inches longer than a factory Cobra. But we took it one step further. We built all independent suspension. We built longer control arms, upper and lower control arms to help give us a nicer, smoother ride. We ran the exhaust completely under the car, put a small block in it, and we moved the engine all the way back to almost center of gravity to be able to give us almost a center of gravity motion with the vehicle. And with the independent rear in this thing, I can take this car at 90 miles an hour and put it in an hairpin turn, and the car will not leave the ground. It stays right there. In a normal Cobra, you slide off the ground into the dirt.
Well, that's interesting. You have some pictures here. Let's take a look at what you brought, and maybe you can explain to us what you have here, what you had to make frame-wise.
A lot of people who see the car say, well, Dino, where'd you get the body? Where'd you get the frame? You had to buy it from somebody. And I says, no. Everything in my store is handmade. We buy all the steel, we cut it, we put everything together. She's all jig welded together, and as you can see how she goes together in a jig, then she comes out all in one piece.
Thanks, Dino, for being on the show.
Bernie, it's been a real pleasure. I'm a car idiot. I'll tell you what, I'm so stupid sometimes, the stuff that I do with these cars, but guess what? It don't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's what car idiocy is all about. It's the most wonderful, wonderful passion. That's why we're obsessed with car idiocy.
That's right.
So, I have a friend now. His name is Irvin. And Irvin, would you like to tell us your story?
Well, basically, I've been a car nut all my life, ever since I was old enough to get in a car.
Now you're a car idiot.
I'm an idiot now because I own 4 vintage cars, and I only got one of me.
Carol, Frank, welcome to the show, Car Idiots.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
Excellent, Frank.
Thank you, but I must correct you. She's my wife, I'm not her husband. How's that?
You can tell it already. The eccentricity and the obsession is really taking place here. Well, anyway, tell us a little bit about why you qualify as being a car idiot, or idiots in this case.
Well, I was married to him, and I wasn't much into cars. And he kind of brought me into that area. It was contagious.
Yes,
And
it is.
I caught it from him. We're basically still newlyweds because we were only married in 2000.
Oh, congratulations.
So that's when I caught the fever.
Frank, and now obviously the car came before the girl. So why don't you explain a little bit about your passion for your cars?
All right, I grew up with a Model A Ford pickup truck. My dad bought one in 1952, and every summer we'd drive it around the yard. We lived out in the country, and we drove it all the time. I used to drive it to school on the last day of school, my junior and senior year. So that's how I started it, you know.
Laura, you mentioned to me that you do a lot of your mechanical work, but how about explaining to our audience what type of mechanical work you may partake in on that 29 Model A station wagon?
From the beginning, the car, when I first purchased it, the engine was in a crate box. And the body of the car was all there. There was the interior needed work, the windows needed work. I did, and there's many pictures that I have that are the making of this car as to the wood that I cut for the interior, the cranks that I put on, the glass that we put in for the windows, the molding around the windows and that kind of thing. Then there's the mechanical of the engine, where we actually took the parts out, and the gentleman I bought the car from sat in a chair with his instruction book and told me what to do and how to do putting the car together.
Keith, tell us a little bit about your story and your obsession with this hobby.
All right, well, like I said, my name's Keith, and I've been a kind of a motorcycle idiot for most of my life. Back in the day, I had some of these cars going around. I had a Mustang, I've had Oldsmobiles, I've had Chargers, Challengers. I had 3 Mustangs, as a matter of fact, a 67 Fastback, 69 Notchback, and a 68 Fastback. And they were pretty nice cars. Well, I am a car idiot, but once I started riding motorcycles, the wind kind of sucked it out of me, you know?
Get a convertible.
Well, I kind of thought about that.
And what type of cars do you love other than the generic aspect of all cars, since you are a car idiot?
Well, I like Nissan a lot and Ford, and I have a 1994 Mustang GT.
Going to be doing here is interviewing Tracy Haruka, and that name is rather popular in the history books when it comes to gaskets, and I'm going to let her explain, and she has a wonderful booth here at the IX Center. Tracy.
Well, thank you for having me here, a surprise visit. I love it, I love it. I love those under pressure interviews that you got to come up with something to say, but that's all right. I get it. People know I can flap my jaws pretty good. What I'm doing here now, which it's doing it for 7 years. It was born 7 years ago, and it's called the Quarter Mile Foundation. And our website's quartermilefoundation.org. And what we are doing is a documentary film series on the fruition and evolution of racing and the aftermarket told by the legends from post-World War II until the end of the 80s. And at this point, we're up to 265 interviews. And yes, like I said, and Ed Pink came to us 3 times and wanted to know because he kept thinking of stuff after we interviewed him the first time. He kept thinking of things. It's like opened up the valves, and he would write. He went home and was writing notes, and he came back and he says, "Tracy, can I talk some more?" And I said, "Ed, all you gotta do is wear the same shirt."
We're at the IX Center, Autorama, and he wants to tell us a little bit about his car because he's a car idiot and he wants to give us some history on it. We love those car idiots. How you doing, Tony?
Good, good.
Tell us a little bit about this car.
Okay, it's 65 Cobra replica, B&B made it, and I put a Taurus Show engine in it, which is 1990, a brand new engine and transmission, so I call it a Showbra. And it was a family project. My wife helped me, she did the dashboard. My daughter, she helped me paint the outline of all the red in the wheels and in the engine. And we put the car together. It took us 8 years to build the car. We got the body in, and we just built the car, the whole family. Somebody had a project to do on the car in the garage, so it was a lot of fun.
Richard and Lynn. Yes, well, you have a beautiful car behind us, and we're going to show you more about that. But first of all, they want to tell us their story. Richard.
Well, it's a 1941 Ford truck. Now, I came up, I wanted a fat fendered vehicle, and I wanted a truck. She wanted a convertible. So now we have a retractable hardtop truck, a 1941 Ford.
And what do you think about that?
I love it, and his passion for the fat fendered car. He's a radical thinker and a radical builder, and it's always a surprise, and I love to see it come together.
He's teasing me about looking up at the terminal tower. I'd get my roof of my mouth sunburned.
What kind of car you got back here that you like so much?
The Ford Pinto.
It's a one-of-a-kind. It was built by an old-timer up in Pennsylvania. And when he passed away, his wife had put it up for sale on Craigslist in Ohio only. And a friend of mine went up and looked at it. He brought it back. Had it 1 week, and I bought it off of him because she fell in love with it.
Hi, I'm Gary.
I'm Christina.
Gary and Christina. Did these cars that you're working on, is this something of a passion that you can consider yourself a car idiot?
Well, we don't do it for the money.
You don't do it for the money? Well, that choked me up. Well, here's the thing. Did the car come before Christina, or did Christina help you with the car?
She helped with the car.
Did she actually design the car?
No.
Did she help you pick out the paint?
No, but she did lay out my clothes every day before work.
Did she wash them?
Yeah, she did.
Did she give it a pinstriping?
No, she didn't do that either.
Christina, what do you do that's fantastic, and why are you considered a car idiot?
I help run the front office and keep them guys going in the back.
Okay, so you're the one that actually goes after people to get the money to pay the bills.
Yes.
Well, that's a very important part. That way you can buy some parts.
That way we can keep it moving.
Well, tell us a little bit about your business. What is this?
One Off-Rod and Custom out of Middletown, Delaware. We build custom cars and hot rods, and we specialize in high-end custom stuff. So.
Very good. Well, this is a nice car behind us. And how many employees do you have?
We have 12 at the time.
12 employees. That seems
12.
to be that's a little bit bigger than a small shop, if that makes sense.
Small shop, a lot of guys, a lot of cars. Somebody's got to keep them in line.
Well, it's nothing like the ladies' touch that can do that.
That's what keeps us going, you know.
We got a lot of car idiots walking around, so we got two of them right here that we want to share with you. And here's one of them.
Hi, my name's Peru.
The Dean Gellner.
Well, welcome to the show. We hear that you've been telling us a little bit about your passion for automobiles, passion to work on these cars, a passion to develop them, engineer them, and we want to be able to hear that story. So can you share that with us? You're first.
So I started off, I never knew that water went in the block. And when I met him, he needed a lot of help. So I jumped in, and now I'm helping him out at the shop full time.
And you do the work there too?
I do all the work.
Well, what does he do?
He answers the phones.
He owns the place, right?
He hands me wrenches. No, but I do balancing, I do the porting, I do assemblies, whatever he needs.
And what else do you need?
I've been involved in the business 43 years, and like my father said, I'm still don't know anything. So, no, but we're engine builders out of Cleveland, Ohio. Peru's my soon-to-be fiance or wife, but she's been actively involved in our business for 4 years now, and she's a natural. She's come on board literally not knowing that there was water in a block, and now she's pretty much a right-hand person here. She's one of the best in the business in a short time.
We have a return guest by the name of Laura to the right of me. Hi, Laura.
Hi.
You enjoying the show?
Oh, I love the show. This is my second day here. It's so worth it.
Well, I'm glad. And you brought your son with you today, Jim.
Yes.
Jim, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You wanted to share something with us on how your love affair with the car, the passion you have, and the family involvement regarding helping your mother and you two working together on her Model A and the other cars she has. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your passion and why you are a car idiot?
Well, I've been doing it since I was little. Working in the yard, doing simple oil changes, tire rotations, and it kind of just grew from there. And actually went to school for it and continued working on cars and work on my own as well as my mom's and help her out. Actually helped her restore and get the 29 Ford Model A she has back on the road.
Sounds good. How many years have you been doing this?
Oh shoot, I want to say probably almost 20 years, probably easily.
And you're about what, 25?
I'm actually 33. So been doing it for a long time, hobby-wise and professionally.
And we have a few other car idiots today that want to share their passion, their story, their obsessive behavior with you, the audience. So first of all, we have Dave here on my right, and far right is Kevin, and they have a story that they would like to share. Dave, let's start with you.
When do you start being a car idiot? About 5 years old. And my father was deep in the car hobby, and I would have a carburetor and take it apart, put it together, take it apart, put it together. I could probably still, he didn't make me do it. Because I believed I was a mechanical nut since I was a child. Toys. You have a toy, you take it apart. Most people play with it. No, I'm going to take it apart, see how it works. So that's where I guess I began being a car idiot.
I think so. When I had a toy, I sanded it down. Brand new toy. What the heck are you sanding that toy down for?
Exactly. Spray paint. Yeah, butter knives. All the butter knives in the house were twisted because they're screwdrivers.
Yeah, those are excellent for electrical outlets.
Right. Yeah, Mom wasn't happy. No, not electrical outlets.
Kevin, tell us a little bit about your background.
Been a car nut all my life. My dad was one, so I basically learned everything from him, you know. He was a custom painter, member of the Nifty 50s to this day that was started in like 75. So 50s Fords, Mercuries, all that kind of stuff, and that's just kind of what I was brought up around. The art and the cars, and that's all I ever built.
Sounds good. And then you have an obsession to this day. Have you collected any, you guys have any cars that you're working on right now, presently?
Several cars. Currently, and the one that's in the show. Oh, I have several, because they follow you home like stray dogs. They really do. I have a 1954 custom line Ford business coupe. I have a 1966 Mustang, and I brought with me today to the show a 1962 Mercury Comet, which I personally built.
Take a look at that. How about you, sir?
I've got a 64 Mercury Marauder with a big block and a 5-speed that I drive all the time in the summertime. I've got a 58 Sunliner convertible, 51 Mercury custom coupe that's over here in the show. I just finished, literally the day before the show, a fully customized Shaggin' 74 Econoline van that just pulled a trophy over in the van show, which I was elated to win because there are some beautiful vans over there. If you guys haven't seen the vans, they absolutely stole the Autorama this year. And then my wife's got a 64 Galaxy that I built for her, and my daughter's got a Shelbyized 71 Maverick Grabber, and my other daughter's got a 70 F100. So basically that's all we do is work on old cars, and my daily driver is a 57 Ranchero. So.
And we have a few more car idiots that would like to share their story. We have Laura and Jeff, a happily married couple that have been involved with the passion of cars for many, many years. In fact, some of them may not just be cars. There might be some unique vehicles that I think Laura may want to share a story about, but we want to share it and we want to share it with you. So, Laura, tell us a little bit about why you are a car idiot and or other types of obsessive behaviors you have with these vehicles.
Well, I love anything, bulldozers, tractors, or whatever, but we have 9 bulldozers, so we needed something to haul them, and he found this semi-tractor, and he told me all it needed was hoses and fluids. I said, okay, I want a trailer that I don't have to deal with ramps. He said, fine, he'd find that. Well, that started in the spring of 2009, and somewhere like in June, I go into the shop where he's restoring it, and the whole top of the cab is cut off. The hood is gone, like half of it's stripped off. This is not hoses and fluids.
A little bit more technique involved to actually get something done.
Yeah. He kind of left off some details in the hoses and fluids. But 7 months later, it was done. He spent every night, every weekend, and it got done.
Well, tell us a little bit more about what actually got done, Jeff.
Well, it's a 1968 Mack R600 semi-tractor. Yeah, it started out, I'm just going to change the fluid and replace the hoses because they were pretty old. And I got it into the shop, and one thing led to another. You rip out the wiring, you rip out the interior, too much rust on the roof to repair, so you just cut it off at the windshield and weld a new one on. Nothing to it.
Did Laura help you with a lot of this?
Oh yes, she's a wonderful frame scraper and painter. She got on the creeper, she got underneath there, she scraped the crud off the frame, did the painting with the frame paint, and did a wonderful job. She's a good motivator.
She motivated you.
Absolutely. She told me I had to have this done before Thanksgiving, otherwise I couldn't go on vacation.
That's where it came in. We would argue back and forth. He would get mad, and he'd take me back to the house. Take me back in the house. You guys do what you guys want to do. I gave you the car, and you know. So we would say, okay, Dad, we'll do it your way. So he had a certain way when you're in the military that you follow rules. You respect your elders. So that's what we did. He said, Grandpa, let's think of a good name to put on the car. And he says, well, what kind of name would you like? Well, we liked the Thunderbell name, which came from a song and a plane. Okay. My son liked the Memphis Belle, my dad liked the Liberty Bell. So the bell came from the 2 planes.
Excellent.
The green came off the Memphis Belle. The car was supposed to be green. When he passed away, me and him made a protocol. We were gonna do it silver. So my dad didn't get to see it painted. He did get to see the motor in it. Okay. He did get to see the chassis work that we did. Okay. He helped us with the roll cage, what he could. Okay. He got really sick after we got the engine in it. He was bedridden, in and out of the hospital. He passed away at home, and my mom said, I gotta get rid of his things. I can't deal with all the stuff that happened. So I said, Mom, can I have the bed? And she said, what do you want a bed for? I said, I want to put it in the car. She says, son, why do you want to put a bed in the car? I said, no, Mom, I don't want the whole bed. I just need the framing, the steel stuff out of it. She says, well, what are you going to do with that? I said, well, I want to put it in the car. She says, okay, you have the bed, and you show me what you want to do with it. So we took and cut it up. We welded pieces all through the front of this. The seats that hold up the seats is the bed that he died in. So we want to incorporate as much as we could of him in there. We put his diabetic bracelet in it. On top of that, we figured if we put the bed in there, he would keep us safe.
I'm a car idiot.
Hi, I'm Donna, and I'm a car idiot.
Hi, I'm Bernie Goliath, and I'm the chief car idiot. And we're gonna take you for a ride.